Welcome back to the Barbecue Pit Live. I am your host, Mikey D. You know what it is. We are going to be predicting UFC Vegas 42 this week, coming off of back-to-back supposedly pay-per-views. I thought they were both pay-per-views, but apparently the first one was free. I thought they had a glitch in the ESPN Plus for 267 while I was watching the prelims on ESPN Plus. And it just kept going. I was like, "Fuck it! If they're gonna give me the pay per view for free, I'm gonna watch it." So, but apparently it was free. I didn't look out there. So, anyway, UFC Vegas 42, Max Holloway, Yair Rodriguez will be headlining. Couple fights fell through. We'll talk about that later. We're gonna start it off. Kyle Daukaus, Roman Dolidze. Daukaus is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, 10-2-1 is in his professional career. Fuck it. You can't curse in the comments, dog. And I know you know that. So I gotta hide it. But yeah, fuck it. I don't know what we're fucking it, but yeah, fuck it. Daukaus is 1-2-1 in the UFC. He's got decision losses to Brandon Allen and Phil Hawes, decision win over Dustin Stolfus, and then a no contest against Kevin Holland in his last fight for an accidental headbutt. He was booked to fight Kevin Holland on this card. But Kevin Holland got an injury and is going to be out for a few months, so he took the fight with Dolidze on short notice. He's got 8 submission wins, never been finished in his career. He's going up against Roman Dolidze, who's 9-1. His only loss was a decision loss to Trevin Giles, 3-1 in the UFC. TKO wins over Hadis Abragamov, and a decision over John Allen and Lorano Staropoli. He's got 7 finishes, 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. I think Daukaus is going to come into the fight a little bit longer, so I think Dolidze's got to get in close, land some powerful clinch strikes. He could do that. He is a powerful striker. Only 1 loss, never been finished. Daukaus is more of a finisher than not, but he is a grappler. He's a really good grappler, and he's going to have to get the fight to the ground if he wants any shot at beating Dolidze, in my opinion. I know a lot of people say he was doing pretty good against Holland standing up, but I think if he's got any chance against Dolidze, he has to take him to the ground. That being said, Dolidze's coming in at plus 180 underdog. I don't think that's good at all. I think if you're betting on the fight, if you want to make some money on the fight, Dolidze at plus 180 is pretty good. I'm going to go with Dolidze probably by TKO or submission, man. I mean, you never know. I know he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but you're on the ground, you get a guy like Dolidze who's just as good, if as Daukaus on the ground. You never know what's going to happen. So I go Roman Dolidze be a finish. Song Yadong versus Julio Arce, however you want to say it. Who's Roman Dolidze? I'm probably saying it wrong. That's probably why. I need my boy fucking Ian here to translate for me. He's got all the foreigners' names. So I don't know. I'm probably wrong on saying his name, but Arce, Ace, however you say Julio's last name. He is 17-4, never been knocked out, only been submitted once with Brian Kelleher in 2015. He's 4-2 in the UFC. He's got 2 losses by split decision to Shaman Marias and Hakeem Dawandu. And he's got UFC wins over Dan Ige, Julian Erosa, Daniel Tamar, and then most recently Andre Ewell. 2 split decision losses is very interesting, because that means one judge seeing that he won that fight, both of those fights. So essentially he could be undefeated in the UFC. Those 2 fights being a little controversial, I see. Song Yadong is 17-5-1-1. He's only been knocked out once in 2016. He's never been submitted in his career. He's 6-1-1 in the UFC. His most recent win is a split decision over Casey Kenny. He's 8-3 by decision. He's got 1 draw in the UFC, which is only a draw because of an accidental knee to the head to a grounded opponent against Cody Staneman. He got a point taken. He won the fight pretty much, and then it became a draw because he lost that 1 point. So again, another impressive run in the UFC. Just beat Casey Kenny. I think it kind of just depends on who's going to implement their game plan better. I think Arce is going to be a better grappler. Song Yadong's probably going to have better cardio and better striking. I think that's just the most, the better path to victory would be being able to strike, keep somebody at distance, and have cardio so that you could fight longer, faster for longer. But Julio Arce, man, he's a finisher, dangerous guy. Like I said, could right now be undefeated in the UFC. Another underdog, plus 130, but I'm going to go Julio Arce on that one too. Arce, however you want to say it. Felicia Spencer versus Leah Letzen. This is a very interesting fight. Leah Letzen has a 3-inch reach advantage. Was on the Ultimate Fighter season 28, 5-1 in her MMA career. Those fights in the Contender Series, I think, were 2018. So she fought in the finale. She beat Julia Stolarenko in the 2018 finale. Had 2 fights fall through in 2019. So she was looking to fight twice in 2019. And then now just nothing for the last 2 years. So essentially the last time she's fought has been 3 years. But she was looking to fight as of 2 years ago. She got 3 knockout wins. Only loss was a split decision loss in her pro debut. It's very tough, man. And women's MMA, too, I think inactivity is never a good thing. Everybody says, it's MMA is MMA, but I think, in my personal opinion, women's MMA follows a ton of different guidelines and rules and ways to look at things than men's MMA. I think men's MMA taking time off could be a good thing. Could be rehabilitating an injury. Could be doing this. Could be doing that. And I think that with women, I don't know if it is a mental thing, a physical thing. I don't know what it is, but there's something about taking time off for women that just historically we've seen not be technically a really good thing, pregnancies. I mean, I think Miesha Tate had a pretty good comeback, but just historically we've seen that women's MMA, they have trouble coming back after a lot of time. And in 3 years, anybody's going to have a tough time coming back after 3 years. And then what I would be most interested in, because I didn't look it up and I don't know why she hasn't tried to get a fight in the last 2 years, but that is what I would be most interested in, is to see why, if she's been injured, if it's just been personal reasons, if she retired and now she's coming out of retirement. That would play a big part in me picking if she wasn't fighting Felicia Spencer. But Felicia Spencer, 8-3, never been finished, 2-3 in the UFC. Only losses are to Cyborg, Amanda Nunes, and Norma Dumont. Hasn't won since her TKO win over Zara Farron dos Santos in 2020. And her other UFC wins include submission over Megan Anderson. She got 4 submissions, 2 knockouts. She's a great grappler, a very, very strong woman for that division. And, like I said, time off doesn't really do you that well in women's MMA. And then if you got to fight somebody like Felicia Spencer in your comeback fight, not good. Felicia Spencer easily, I think, either submission or decision there. Ben Rothwell, Marcus Rogero de Lima. Ben Rothwell, 39-13, won his last fight via submission over Chris Barnett in May. Had a 3-year layoff from 2016 to 2019. He came back. He's 3-3 since his return. He's got wins over Stefan Struve, like we just said, Chris Barnett, and Ovince St. Preux. His 3 losses are to Marcin Tybura, Andrei Arlovski, and Blagoy Ivanov. 28 wins by knockout, 7 by submission. This is something that I found out that I didn't know before. He was 3-0 as a professional kickboxer. All 3 of those fights taking place 2015 and before. So not anything recent, but still, I've always looked at Ben Rothwell like he's got good striking, he's got power and stuff, but I never was like, oh, he could be a professional kickboxer. I didn't think he had the skills like that, but 3-0 as a professional. He's going to come in with a 3-inch height, 3.5-inch reach advantage over De Lima. De Lima is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, 18-7-1 is his professional record. He is 7-5 in the UFC. Has been win-loss since his second fight. He won 2 back-to-back in the UFC. So out of 12 fights, he won 2 back-to-back and then went loss-win until his most recent fight, which was a decision win over Maurice Green in May. He's got 13 wins via knockout. He's only got 1 loss by knockout, and he's 2-5 by submission. I think that's where this is going to come into play, because although Ben Rothwell is a great striker, and I think he could keep him on the outside, and he could use kicks to keep him, any heavyweight that could use kicks is going to be dangerous. So if he can use kicks to keep him there, if at any point he starts to feel, like he's losing the fight, I think him taking the fight to the ground and testing De Lima's black belt is going to be the strong move. He's 2-5 by submission. And I'm just going to look up really quick who he may have lost by submission to, because, that's also going to play a part. And I didn't put that down for some reason. That should have been one of the things I wrote down. Alexander Romanov. Okay, Stefan Struve. Ovince St. Preux, I see it. Gatsmarad Antegulov. Yeah, Nikita Krylov. These are all really good grapplers. So, I mean, maybe Ben Rothwell's path to victory shouldn't be to take the fight to the ground. He should keep it standing. Either way, I'm here for a big Ben Rothwell win. I want to see him turn around. I always like the old guys, the guys from back in the day when I was a kid and I first started watching. So I'm going to go Ben Rothwell. Max Holloway, Yair Rodriguez is going to be a banger. Yair Rodriguez coming back after how long? Hasn't fought since his decision win over Jeremy Stevens, October 2019. So over 2 years ago was his last fight. He's 13-2-1. Both losses were by knockout, one by Frankie Edgar, one by Roberto Herrera in his fourth professional fight. He's 8-1-1 in the UFC. And like I said, he hasn't fought since 2019. He's going against Max Holloway, who's 22-6, coming off a decision win over Calvin Kattar in January. He's got 10 wins by knockout, never been knocked out in his career, 2-1 by submission. And his only submission losses were to Dustin Poirier in his UFC debut, and then some guy in his fifth professional fight in 2012. So he hasn't been submitted in a very long time. I don't think Rodriguez is going to want to grapple much with him anyway. But this Max Holloway is a banger, man. He's got very technical boxing. He's a very, very good boxer in the featherweight division. And I think the only way Yair Rodriguez can be any kind of dangerous towards Max Holloway is to establish the leg kick very early and somewhat, immobilize Max Holloway's movement. Because if he's not able to move like he normally does, he's not going to be able to throw the boxing like he normally does. He's just going to be a little bit off. So he's going to leave openings for Yair Rodriguez to throw his spin kicks and his unorthodox striking. I don't see that happening, though. I think Max Holloway is just going to run away with this 5-round probably decision, unless for some reason, Yair Rodriguez has gotten tired in the past and fights in the past in the 4th and 5th round when he's fought in a main event. So I can see that happening again, and I can see Max Holloway finishing him in the championship rounds. But either way, I got Max Holloway. The rest of the card plays out. Thiago Moraes versus Joel Alvarez. Cynthia Calvillo taking on Andrea Lee. Miguel Beza versus Chaos Williams. Sean Woodson versus Colin Anglin. Courtney Casey versus Lena Joja. Mark DeCasey taking on Rafael Alves. Kennedy and Shuike, wish I had Ian for that one, versus Dan Jung. Danilo Marquez taking on Jailton Almeida. And then Lando Venata was supposed to fight Tucker Lutz. No opponent rebooked for him yet. Like I said, probably tomorrow is most likely going to be the deadline to find him a fight. Felipe Lenz was supposed to fight OSP. His fight, unfortunately, I just got news maybe an hour or two before we started the show that he will not find a replacement for him. Me personally, I think Chris Barnett getting a quick turnaround, becoming the Kevin Holland of the heavyweight division, and taking the fight with Felipe Lenz would be phenomenal. I know Felipe Lenz was going to fight OSP at light heavyweight, but he has fought at heavyweight before. And, he was a small heavyweight, but so is Chris Barnett. Chris Barnett's like 5'10" or something, 5'9", 5'10" or something like that in the heavyweight division. So he's a smaller heavyweight too. I think that would have been a good fight. It sucks that it didn't happen. Felipe Lenz is not on the card. So that to look forward to this weekend. The weekend after, I seen a couple of fights getting booked for the November 20th card, which will be Misha Tate taking on Keatlin Vieira. It's got a couple of good fights on there so far that we could see. Tai Tuivasa, Augusta Sakai is not going to happen. That fight was taken off due to visa issues. Terrence McKinney will be back fighting for Azam. Michael Chiesa, Sean Brady is going to be a good fight. Davey Grant versus Adrian Yanez is going to be amazing. Tucker Lutz versus Pat Sabine. It looks like Tucker Lutz just got pushed back. That's something weird, man. I guess Tucker Lutz maybe have been like a replacement. I think Lando Venata might be a couple steps ahead of Tucker Lutz. They said, fuck it. I know we said we were going to let this fight happen, but we're not. We're going to give him Pat Sabine, who's more of a newcomer, same as Tucker Lutz. I don't know if that's the thought process, or maybe Lutz wasn't going to be ready this weekend. He's only going to be ready next weekend. I don't know. I'm not sure, but he is fighting not this weekend, but next. And we are still looking for Lando Venata replacement. If not, this card will go forward with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13 fights. And that's your preview show, guys. Until next Tuesday, stay barbecued. Hit me up. Peace out, fuckers.